Physical media is expensive. Hi, I'm Simply Stevie. I post whatever, whenever, so you should sit down because I think we're meant to be together. You get it? Cause like the like the Shakira song. In this day and age, owning physical media has become a luxury. Just think of how much money you spend buying all those vinyls, CDs, DVDs, VHS tapes. But even before you buy that, think of how much money you have to spend in order to even play that media. All the VHS players, the record players, the DVD players, that adds up to a lot of money. This whole setup alone for my Audio-Technica cost me $200 and some. I'm not blaming people for not wanting to spend that much money. And especially since everything is smart now, you have to buy additional cables and additional amplifiers that will help you play the media in the first place. I'm bringing this up because today I bought a Sony DVD player, which I was so excited for. I found one at Walmart. It said it was a DVD player and a CD player. I said, say less. It was on sale for $40. And I was like, you know what? I'd rather pay this money at a store so I'm 100% sure that it works rather than spending money on a yard sale, coming home and seeing that like I got scammed because it doesn't even turn on. So I go to the cash register, I pay my money, I come home, I'm so excited. And I already have some cables laying around from when the time I also tried to buy a VHS player from an estate sale, came home, realized I could not play it at all on the TV that I had. I spent more money buying these cable things to connect it to my TV. Finally, I put in a VHS tape only for the VHS player to not work. It killed my VHS tape. It literally, like, it ruined it. I got scammed, y'all. I got scammed. But yeah, I had to throw that player out because it wasn't working. But I kept the cable, so luckily I still had these for when I got this DVD player. Finally, I hooked it up. I put on Attack of the Clones, and nothing happened. Because guess what? I need another cable. So what do? I go on Amazon and I buy another cable and I pay for same-day shipping because I am so desperate and I'm so tired. I just want to see Attack of the Clones. Please! What does a girl have to do to see Ewan McGregor all chained up looking so fine? It has a second disc as well, which I am very curious about. I genuinely, like, what is on that second disc? It probably says it somewhere, but I don't read. Please, I just want to see Ewan McGregor in the rain. What does a girl have to do? How much money does she have to spend? Please. But yeah. Physical media is expensive and I hate it. I'm not saying I hate the physical media. Physical media is extremely important, especially nowadays with streaming. I'm a film major at UT Austin and I took a class called History of Media Industries, which was probably my favorite class that I've taken so far. And near the end of the semester, we started talking about the age of streaming and how it's kind of ruining everything for the industry and for consumers. We as a society have become so dependent on services like Spotify, Apple Music, HBO, Netflix, that we have stopped actually owning our media. That means that it doesn't matter how much money you pay a month for all these subscriptions. If one of those streaming services decides they don't want to have that show, that movie, that album on their platform anymore, it's gone. And you can't do anything about it. It's also the same thing, like if an artist decides to pull all of their music from a platform, what are you gonna do about it? Nothing. Other than like play it on YouTube, but like that's annoying. Who even does that? I personally went through that in, I believe it was 2020, 2021. I'm a big classic rock fan. I am a folky. I love folk music, everything. And around that time period, Joni Mitchell and Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young removed pretty much all of their music from Spotify as a form of protest to Joe Rogan's misinformation on COVID-19. Which, you know, I stand behind that. I'm so glad they stand on business. But I was left without one of my favorite albums. The song Big Yellow Taxi by Joni Mitchell is one of my all-time favorites, and so is Our House by CSNY. They're beautiful songs, beautiful albums, and I was just left without them for the longest time. It wasn't until a year or two later when suddenly they reappeared on my playlist, and I was like, oh, when did that happen? Honestly, let me just look at my lecture notes because I don't script any of my videos, as you can probably tell. Side note, Dr. Kathy Fuller, amazing. Love her to death. She was my professor for this class. Fun fact, she was on Jeopardy in the 80s and she got scammed and lost twice. But don't worry, Kathy, I am defending your name in those comment sections. Even though there's only like 4 comments and I am one of them being like, she was scammed! Anyway, my professor had talked about how video stores such as Blockbuster could be considered the first form of streaming. People could go in, browse the aisles, and choose whatever they wanted to watch. That is important because nowadays it feels like we don't really have that much of a free will when it comes to streaming. There is an algorithm hand-picking shows and movies and pushing them our way and just promoting the hell out of them to us. So we have this algorithm choosing for us rather than us being able to freely look around and choose what we want to see. This algorithm also reduces the chances of us being able to discover new things that we might like. You know, watch something that we thought we'd never like in a million years, but come to realize we actually really love this thing. I'm not good with words, but you know what I mean, right? She talked about how streaming today makes it kind of hard for indie artists to stand out and break through because they're just kind of pushed down to the bottom of the barrel while all these multi-million-dollar movies and shows are pushed to the max. Not saying that you'll be unnoticed forever. I'm sure this will bring people some recognition, which is great, but it's just kind of hard to stand out when Netflix is pushing whatever season of Love Island and Love is Blind on you, you know? And music streaming is also horrible for artists. They hardly make any money back from that compared to like the early 2000s where they would make a good cut of those CD sales. And another big problem, of course, is that prices will continue to go up and catalogs will continue to decrease. That, or their catalogs will stay the same, but they will implement more ads at a higher price, essentially becoming cable all over again, the one thing they were trying to separate themselves from. Dr. Fuller also brought up the idea that in the future, who knows, maybe these streaming services will make it harder to cancel your subscription, much like cable does. But at the end of the day, I can't really judge people that rely on streaming for everything. I know I do, because it doesn't matter how many vinyls I have. I'm still not going to be able to buy all of my favorite albums that I have on Spotify. Especially when there's an artist that only has a few songs that I like. I'm not going to go out of my way to spend $30 on a vinyl record that I'm not going to listen to all the time. So as I sit here, waiting for my HDMI cable to arrive at 5 p.m., I just hope it works. I just hope it works. Because physical media is a luxury that I cannot keep affording, unfortunately. But it doesn't mean I won't try. That's Pookie right there. And when I say that's Pookie, I mean all of them. 3 bad bitches at the same damn time. Padme, Obi, Anakin. Yes! Please pray that I can see Ewan McGregor tied up today. Yes! Currently editing, and I forgot to record myself saying that it worked, so it worked! And I am proud to say that this only took $50 to set up. Yes! Yes! That's how much it costs to watch Ewan McGregor be tied up. $50. Or, you know, a Disney Plus subscription, which I already have, but don't let physical media die, okay? Don't let physical media die.
To wonder if you got my message. I retransmitted it just as you had requested, Master. Good job.